when I talk to just fans on the street that have nothing to do with our business and aren't associated with the Patriots or anything, they say, the deflated balls, he did fine in the second half. I don't really care about the deflated ball. This infraction is so minor, I don't understand why this is becoming such a big thing. Why should fans care?
Well, Tom Brady occupied a solitary place, not just in sports, but in American popular culture. He was as close to we have as not just a perfect ball player, but a perfect guy, the perfect wife, the perfect kids, the perfect dad, and the perfect story. A sixth-round pick who became arguably the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. That's why we care. That's why we're having this special edition.
Well, people care because the Patriots got caught with the filming investigation before. They see them push the envelope on everything from ineligible receivers, eligible receivers. So, and plus the Patriots win all the time. So I think people are kind of, but it's everything. It's the integrity of the game. Like, okay, you didn't need, it's just a small thing. Then why would you even suggest tampering with footballs? Because the one thing we do know is that tampering did take place. Now, what type of guiding hand did Tom Brady have? That's kind of the argument right here. But the league is saying he was complicit to some degree. They're going to sit him for 4 games.
People care because they want to know that when they watch a game on any given Sunday, that it's the real deal. That the fix is not in. That it's not WWF wrestling. That it's not somehow choreographed to determine or predetermine an outcome. They want to know that it's real. And when you watch players go out and give it their all on any given Sunday or on Monday night or on Thursday night, you want to know that it's real. So we want to know that our heroes, when they accomplish something, when they win championships, we want to know that it's real, that the best team truly did win, and that there was no way, shape, or form an unfair advantage.
But is a slightly, if there's slightly less air in my football than your football, as we saw in the second half, it didn't alter
the Super Bowl.
The way that the game went down.
I think most people don't really care about how much it helped or it didn't help.
Is this different than having Stickum? Let's say. Like the things that fans just assume happen.
We can't really make that assumption. I think people, here's the deal. People know that if you're going to go through those lengths, then it must help you. I mean, you don't do it for nothing. And I think at the end of the day, most people don't want to get into the science of pounds per square inch. Yeah, but we're talking about people, lay people, the fans, the NFL fans. They don't want to get into it to that point. They don't want to go any deeper than, hey, did you do it by the book or not? That's really as far as they want to go.
Lindsay, to your point, all cheating is not created equal, and all accused cheaters are not created equal either. This is Tom Brady, and he has a special place. This is the Patriots. The Patriots have a special place in the pantheon of sports in this country, especially now. They are the reigning Super Bowl winners. They're the subject to enormous debate across now decades. So they're a lightning rod for this kind of.
And he is the game's most celebrated player. Correct. At this point. You can say that.
Correct. You argue him and Joe Montana the greatest ever, but let's keep this real. The punishment isn't simply about the supposed infraction, okay? It is about their history. That was laid out in Troy Vincent's punishment. It is about the communication or lack thereof. It is the evasiveness, supposedly.
Let's go back to the history, just specifics.
Yep.
So if the Patriots are being fined $1 million, and they're being docked draft picks, partially because of the history here, my question about that has to do with the fact that this report specifically says that there's no reason to believe that the owner or the coach or anyone in a leadership position in this organization knew that this was taking place. So how then can they be punished? How do you connect those dots?
Look on page 20 of the executive summary where it says that the New England Patriots did not make Jim McNulty, I believe is his name, one of the equipment guys, McNally, available for follow-up interviews. Okay, they are saying that as a whole, there are certain things that didn't come to play. Also, 2 team employees, the 2 equipment guys, they were there. The people you hired were up to some riffraff here. They were up to something. So it's kind of, sorry, Mark, the lack of institutional control. You didn't keep everything in check. So that's what comes into the penalty when they're looking at
past
all
history
of this.
As well as this.
Correct. They're saying that Robert Kraft didn't necessarily know. Bill Belichick didn't necessarily know. But the failure to keep a cap on everything going on in your organization, and we got to go back to Bountygate, where ignorance is not an excuse, that factors into some of the discipline.
It also says in there that they felt that the team could have did more to push Tom Brady to give up the electronic information, whether it be emails and text messages. But to Steve's point, it specifically says in the press release issued by the league yesterday that they failed to make Jim McNally available for additional interviews. And so at some point, the Ted Wells investigators were asking to speak to Jim McNally again, and that they did not make him available. So it also has to do with what we just talked about, as well as the past history.
The smoking gun, as far as the way the story has played out, is Tom Brady not handing over his phone. You can parse it any way you want to, but that's the thing that people seize on. I think that's what the investigator seized on. I think that's what they thought about in the league office when they were implementing or cooking up the punishment. Why this was appropriate, why it seems so severe, why there's a need for transparency. Again, this is arguably the most famous athlete in the country. And there is a political analogy here, too. Nixon didn't need to resort to dirty tricks to overwhelm George McGovern, nor did the Patriots need to resort to deflated balls to overwhelm the Indianapolis Colts. And it's what happened in retrospect. It's the cover-up, if you will. I hesitate to use the word, but it's the lack of forthcomingness. It's the lack of transparency that people have seized on here, and why this punishment was, I think from my perspective, so severe.
Yeah. Watergate wasn't so much about the breakup as much as it was about the cover-up. Yep.